Taking just about 2 more breaths in your child's pose. And this time we're going to inhale your head up first. You're going to lower down the forearms if they were lifted, and then slowly lift up through the hips. Walk your knees back, take the knees together, and then start to walk the palms forward, 1 to 2 steps. So you want to try to take the chest down toward the floor. If it's there, if your flexibility allows it, take the chin to the mat, or you could take the forehead to the mat. We're holding here for a few breaths, preparing our body for a back bend coming up. And really get that opening just around the area of the armpits. Feel the lengthening of the front of the neck if that chin is on the mat. This will help in that final camel pose coming up in a few minutes. Good. Slowly bringing your head up, shifting your body weight forward, keeping the forearms down, and then right where the elbows were, plant the palms. Knees are at hips width. Sway the shoulders and hips from side to side. And let's come into a thread the needle. So plant the right palm into the center of your mat. Inhale the left arm up toward the ceiling, twisting right from your belly. And 3 rounds, you're going to exhale the left arm underneath the right side of the body, and then bring yourself back up to that original pose. Left arm reaching toward the ceiling, and then exhale, cycle through thread the needle about 1 to 2 more times. Especially if you're going a little bit faster, then take a few more rounds. But when you're ready, that last round, you're going to touch down the shoulder. Now your option here is you could always take a pillow or some prop underneath the shoulder itself. With time, as your body gets a little bit more comfortable, you'll be able to come deeper into the stretch. Okay, try to take the chin closer toward the chest, keeping the weight more toward the back of the skull, but majority of the weight should still be on the knees and just a little bit on the shoulder and head. Pull that left hip back a little bit, taking 1 more breath. Coming up toward a tabletop, let's come into a quick stretch down dog. Just to shake that out a little bit, let the blood flow. Inhale the heels up toward the ceiling. Exhale the heels down, push through the arms, lengthening the front chest palate toward your thigh bones. Good, dropping down onto the knees. Left palm into the center of the mat now, and then inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling. Getting that twisting sensation right from the belly. Exhale, come into your thread the needle. Moving with your breath. So inhale that right arm back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, continue to cycle for about 2 to 3 more, depending on your speed. Remember, a stronger muscle is a longer muscle. So fitting in flexibility in your routine comes with many, many benefits. That helps overall the physical strength and conditioning of your body. So if you have not yet, you're basically touching down the right shoulder. Pull that left hip back this time to try to get a little bit more of a balancing act between those hips. And then just allow yourself to more or less surrender into the stretch. You're not forcing anything here. Your body will tell you it's too much if your breath changes. So you still want to breathe slow, deep, and rhythmically. Good. Pressing into the left palm to help yourself back up into your tabletop. Quick stretch, down dog. Shaking out the head, walking out your feet. Really allow your body to settle into that stretch. And before we get into that final pose, just about 1 to 2 more postures, okay? Look to the middle of your mat. Walk the feet up slightly and then walk your palms to meet your feet. Coming into a forward fold, feet are at hips width. Deepen your stance. You could bend the knees a little bit deeper. You're welcome to hold on to the opposite elbows. If you're feeling a little bit more energetic or aggressive, you could interlace the fingers behind the back. Again, your eyes are looking past your inner thighs. Crown of the head is parallel to the mat. And then from there, slowly release the arms down toward the floor. Bend your knees nice and deep. Head comes up last. Roll up your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Taking slow, deep breaths in between. And when you do come to a stand, take 3 sun breaths here. So inhale the arms up. Palms to prayer in front of the heart. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Beautiful. Staying as you are in the middle of your mat. You're going to keep the feet at hips width, and you're going to take your right palm onto the hip. Take the left arm up toward the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale, length, and then exhale, lean to your right. Okay, you're using the right palm as a little bit of a crutch, a little bit of support. This will help to enable the left hip to go a little bit further to the side than if both arms were up. So we're just preparing that body for the back bend. Roll that left shoulder blade back a little bit so you can really get that opening underneath that left arm. Okay, taking 1 more breath. Slowly release the left arm down. Bring yourself up to a neutral. Take both palms to your lower back. Press the hips forward and then lean the upper body back. If you have any kind of injuries through your spine, keep the eyes looking forward. You're welcome to take the eyes to look back or perhaps dropping the head all the way back. It's dependent on you. Okay, moving at your own risk. And then engaging that lower belly, bring yourself back up to a standing posture. And again, remain feet at hips width, taking the left palm onto the hip, and then reaching the right arm up toward the ceiling here. And then when you're ready, as you lean to your body's left, move the right hip to the side. Soften through your toes, roll the right shoulder back, opening the right arm. So you could get that opening just through the front plane of the body. Really get that stretch. Of course, you're not moving past a point of pain. There should be a little bit of discomfort, just like you're stretching, but then you're also in complete control. Soften through those toes again, taking 1 more breath. And then gently start to release the right arm, palms to your lower back again. Squeeze the glutes, lean back, look up, and then get into that back bend. Engaging through your pelvic floor, ensuring that the spine is maintaining its strength from the root up. And then chin to the chest. Bring yourself up to a stand. Inhale, reach the arms up toward the ceiling. Forward fold, exhale. Taking the palms to the shins, inhale a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Stay standing as you bring the palms to prayer in front of the heart. Okay, the final posture before we get into that balancing pose. The back bend, rather. You're going to step the right foot forward into a balancing pose as you slowly start to hinge the upper body forward and then lift the back leg up. Flex the foot, square off your hips. You could bend that right knee a little bit deeper and perhaps take the palms toward the floor. You've got that block or prop there. And then try to find balance here. Strengthening out not just through the leg, but through the muscles of your spine. Maybe reach the arms to the side like an airplane. Taking 2 more breaths. Just as we came in, we're going to come out. Step toward the middle of your mat and let that go. Walking out the knees. 3 shoulder rolls, forward and up, inhale. Back and down, exhale. Good. Other side, stepping that left foot forward. Now the trick in balancing postures is wherever you set your eyes, the body will follow. So as you start to hinge the upper body forward and lift the back leg up, again, keep your hips square so that right kneecap is facing the mat. Flex the foot. Both sides might be different. Micro bend to that standing left leg. You could come into a modified variation if you choose, where the palms come to the wall, a block, a prop. Maybe come into that airplane pose for just a couple more breaths. Strengthening the muscles of the back. Try to keep the shoulders aligned to the hips. And once again, as you came in, you're coming out. Step to the middle of your mat. Walk out the knees. Just 2 shoulder rolls this time, forward and up, inhale. Back and down, exhale. Good, reach the arms up, inhale. Hinging from the hips, forward fold, exhale. Palms to the shins, flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Good, dropping down onto the knees from here. And then slowly step the knees about hips width. Okay, as you come up onto the knees, you can either stay in the option where the toes are left untucked, or if you're going to attempt to reach for the heels with a little bit of help by tucking the toes, lifting the heels, you'll be able to do so a little bit easier. Okay, so let's start first splitting it in half by taking the right palm toward the heel first, wrapping around the heel, and then lifting up through the chest. You could keep that left palm on the belly, or reach the left arm up toward the ceiling, or perhaps toward the wall behind you. So getting a little bit of a side twist. Now continue to engage through your pelvic floor, pressing your hips forward, and of course you're always breathing in these stretches. You know you've gone too far if you're holding your breath, or if there's a lot of rigidity around the inhale or exhalation. Okay, taking 1 more count, reaching the left arm forward, and use that as a pendulum to slowly bring yourself up. And we're going to switch sides. You're going to take the left palm, wrap it around the heel. From there, reaching the right arm up, either straight toward the ceiling, squeeze the glutes, pressing your hips forward, or as you get more and more comfortable in the stretch, you're reaching the right fingertips toward the wall behind you as you continuously press the hips forward. Remember, the more the hips press forward, the more your upper body can lean back. Taking 2 more breaths here. And using that right arm with momentum to bring yourself back up onto the knees, take a moment to drop down onto the heels, uncurl the toes, and just gently shake the head from side to side, bob it from right shoulder to the left. Do that a few times just to loosen up the cervical spine, the muscles of the neck. Now it's common in back bends to feel a little nauseous during and maybe directly after, so be very gentle as you come in and out of these, and ensure that you are able to get into back bends. There's no major changes in through the discs of the spine or any kind of surgeries recently. Make sure you always check with your doctor before you come into a little bit more of the challenging postures. So we're going to come into 2 rounds of camel. Big toes together to touch. It's up to you whether you want to tuck the toes or not. Palms to your lower back this time. Knees are at hips width. Engaging through the root, the lower pelvic floor. And then slowly start to inhale your chest up. Exhale, press the hips forward. Inhale the chest up, look up. Exhale, press the hips forward. Continue to do that breath cycle and pattern with your body. Maybe you stay with the palms on the hips, or maybe you reach back for the heels. Whatever posture you're in, only if you're able, you're welcome to drop your head back and taking 2 more breaths. Taking the chin toward the chest first, palms to your lower back, engaging through the front of the belly. Slowly bring yourself up and sitting on the heels. Try not to get into a child's pose immediately. Just give your body a second here to recalibrate. You're welcome to close the eyes. And we're going to do a second set. If you'd like to skip this one, then you could come into a child's pose. If you're feeling lots of tension in through your lower back, knees could come together just to create a little bit more cushion and comfort to lengthen the lumbar spine, okay? Otherwise, second set, setting up your body as you would like. Just as we started to come in, we're doing it the same way. Inhale, lift up the heart. Exhale, hips forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push. Come into the version of your pose today. Maybe you're holding on to the heels. Keep that engagement through the pelvic floor. Maybe you're dropping your head back. Or if you attempt to take both arms to reach up and back, come in and out very slowly. Good. Your final breath, whatever it may look like today. When you're ready, palms to your lower back, always chin to the chest, walking your knees together, coming back into that kneeling seat, and then close your eyes. Breathe nice and deeply into your belly here. Really allow the Buddha belly to show so you're not engaging through your core, but do tuck the tailbone slightly so you could work on rebuilding that length into your lower back. Okay, we're coming into a child's pose. Good time to grab just a sip or 2 of water. If there's lots of activity happening in that lower back, knees together to help lengthen out that cord. And then you're resting here for about 5 to 10 breaths. You're welcome to add on here, but try to take those full 5 breaths.